magical feather, so it's pretty good. It's both imaginary and magical. And whoever's holding the feather gets to talk. And the other people are supposed to listen and or respond, but respond respectfully with the intention we're going to listen to each person one at a time, and you mostly will respond when it's your turn to hold the feather or talk. So that being said, whenever you have the feather, you have the power to direct the room and control the conversation in any way that you want. Sometimes people who have the feather will just call for a response and say, hey, does anybody out there have a good 3v3 team? At that point, anybody can address the feather. So sometimes it seems a little chaotic, but the idea is simple. It's just a round table. Anybody who wants to come in and sit down can talk. I am beefed, and I started with the feather, so actually, number one, seated at the table, the first chair is Dialar. So since my conversation, what I wanted to say is up, at the end of that, I pass the feather, and everybody can see a list. See, in that Boba's Live text channel, we're going to tag you when you come in. So
Okay,
that
I
you can
just
tell
updated
who
it
you're
there.
next to. Yeah, I really like that. Good job, Avi. Tag, you know.
Okay.
To see the show, and I really do want to know just an introduction from everyone, and who are you and how are you doing, and pass the feather to the first person at the table, which is Dialar.
Good evening, folks. This is Dialar from Alpha and Dialar's Twi'lek Tactics. I'm good. I'm up here in Canada, just getting ready for the mayhem that is going to ensue tomorrow night. I booked 3 days off of work. I booked Wednesday off for the hangover. I booked Thursday and Friday off to watch all the mayhem from the comforts of my own couch. So I wish you all luck. Stay safe, and I'll pass it on to next in line.
Next is Beefed, and I would say I'm having fun in Galaxy of Heroes, and when I'm looking for the boost on the game lately, I've been playing with the music turned on. Actually, this game has really good sound effects and music. Most of the time I just tune that out, but lately when I'm trying to enjoy myself, that's been a boost. Okay, I'll pass the feather to the next on the table, which is Reaver.
What happens if you're allergic to feathers?
Hold it by the base carefully.
All right.
Or with gloves.
No, don't start with mask and gloves. It's not that kind of conversation. Hey everybody, I'm Reaver. Just here for a little bit of light entertainment. Passing it on to Queen Abby.
Hey everyone, good evening. Just being here, hanging out. Had some free time tonight. Wasn't able to the last couple of weeks, but I was excited that I was available at the moment to do this. Having some fun. Haven't even started my territory battles yet. Been so busy all day long, but I plan on hunkering down and getting them all done within the next few hours.
Shame.
I know. Well, yeah, it's hard to do when you've got, I've still got 6 accounts anyway.
You're done, you pass the feather to Naughty Karate.
Oh, yes.
Oh, really? Is it my turn?
It's your turn to just say hi and whatever.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and whatever your gender identity thing is. I acknowledge you all. Yeah. I got all my stuff done because I don't run 7 accounts, and I don't feel like there's really that much to say other than maybe Jedi Master Luke is on the horizon. But anyway, I'm here. I feather pass. I'm doing a really cool twist with my wrist. Feather spinning in multi-directions. It's going to be a multi-dimensional pass. Kind of cool. So what is it, LV?
LV, yeah.
LV, you want to speak up?
No, we'll be not speaking up. I'm waiting for the
Did you
apocalypse.
catch that?
Yes, I got that.
Oh, okay,
Thank
cool.
you, thank you, you Hawaiian man. I am waiting to leave the country because the apocalypse is happening tomorrow. I want to go back home to Germany because I'm scared.
Elva, you can come up to Canada here. Just find a way across the border and you can come hide out at my place.
Listen,
It's safe.
yeah, but no one's allowing U.S. tourists to go anywhere. So unless you're gonna smuggle me through somewhere, then
That's true. Coming from the U.S. to up here, because I share that with you, Dial. I think we'll pass. Sorry.
If you can find a very small dinghy and you can make it to Noonan, North Dakota, I get you across.
all right. Well, I'm definitely looking at it because I joke around with my family that I want to come back home to Germany after all this nonsense. But I'm LV. I'm in Alpha. Been in Alpha for less than a year now. I've been with Dylar now for about 2-3 years, playing with him. Just here to have fun. And I guess next is what, JDC is next on the docket?
JDC? Yep.
Yeah, I'm JDC, and I'm in the Outcast Ghost in a 300 million GP guild. Hopefully we're getting 31 stars for the first time this TV. And yeah, just getting ready for 3v3 Grand Arena. That's what part just started. I guess I'll pass on to Daiwa, I think.
All right, JDC, you're gonna have to turn your mic up, man. We can't hear you.
Yeah, it's really hard to hear you. Do you have your mic far away from you or your phone or?
I'm speaking right into it. I don't know.
Same problem as last week, but we noticed that you were number 1 in GAC, JD Suzuki. Is that right?
Yes.
You got number 1.
Oh, this
He's
is
our
the
main
guy.
man.
Oh,
He's
this
our
is the
main
guy.
man in GAC. So
Yeah,
I would like to hear a little dissertation on how you accomplished this.
Yeah, but 3v3 is a whole different animal, and no one likes it, and it's just gonna be chaos with 4.
No, not you, LV.
Yeah, but JD Suzuki won number 1 in the GAC, and so we got to get his mic working better.
Yeah.
Maybe by the next time the circle goes around, the next person on the feather is Dylar.
Well, someone said 3v3, and I know you said that people hate it, but I don't know. I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment in this game. I like my two favorite parts of this game are light side territory battles and 3v3 Grand Arena. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I see it's on the board now. Everyone can join. I have not yet because I need to do all my mod pruning, get some people out of my top 80. I need to remod my Jedi Knight Luke, and I've watched at least 20 hours worth of content on 3v3 prep, and I am ready to go. I cannot wait. So I guess on that topic, I'm assuming no one else. Am I alone here in saying that I can't wait for 3v3? And mayhem that will be Jedi Master Luke on defense with Watt and Bastila?
I'm not averse to it.
I can't wait to take the feather, and so if you pass to me, I would love to tell you, Beef Martine, I love the 3v3 because it shakes up the whole meta, and so I can't wait to put together some fascinating teams with a bunch of different leaders that they don't usually see. I like playing surprise teams as much as possible, and I think I'm gonna have Mon reviving old Ben on 3v3 because I have Relic old Ben, and it's just cruel sometimes. But the thing I like about 3v3 right now is that I don't have very many characters that are like Relic, and I got a dozen or so, but I can mix them in and make some really spicy teams with
For our viewers, a little pro
Relic
tip.
Zalbar.
Oh, sorry.
Goes a long way. Yeah. Okay, it'll come back to you and then give you a pro tip.
You cut out there for a minute.
Oh. Well, I like 3v3, and I like that I can make the most of my few Relic characters. Like I have a Relic Zalbar or a Relic old Ben, and just sticking something like that in 3v3, it has a big effect. People don't expect it. They don't know how to deal with it. That makes it more fun for me. I love 3v3. Let's have Reaver's perspective.
Okay, you guys are making me fight against it, which kind of sucks because you both said that you like it, and we can't have an all one-sided broadcast, that would just be horrible. I don't know. It also sounds like you're a little bit bigger than Ollie is, I believe. So for me, it's kind of a struggle. It honestly is. I do like it because I like how it opens up and you can build so many more teams. Just a couple things you have to remember. One's modding and the fact that you have to save your leaders. I don't know. I'm kind of torn about it because I remember this happened last time. By the time I got interested in 3v3 again, it was gone, and I had to go back to 5v5, and then your brain just gets all jumbled up. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Next.
Next is the queen.
Well, and I will say that I don't like GAC anyway, and I especially don't like 3v3. I just don't, my brain just won't function during it. I mean, I do okay in it, and I can certainly set some decent teams. I just don't care for it at all.
Oh, you don't even play.
I don't even play. I just let the game set my defense, especially for 3v3. Once in a while, I'll do 5v5. Once in a blue moon, just on one account or something.
That is the only true part of the game. I'm sorry, but I have to condone for GAC here. Some folks like yourself don't like it, Avi. I'm sorry, no one's supposed to pass a feather, but it is the truest part of the game where you can actually, go 1 versus 1. And the only bad part about it is you can't do a sandbox mode where you can play your friend.
Right, yeah, and that's true. Yeah, with so many accounts, it's really hard for me to do all 5v5. So what I would do is sometimes I would just set the teams and just play like 1 or maybe 2 accounts with that. For 3v3, I just let it set, and a lot of times I'll come first, second, or third on my accounts. So I figure I did pretty well in getting rewards for not doing 1 battle.
Well, that's because you're competing with people that are also not doing anything too, which is kind of a nice little eddy of the river to be in,
It
you
really is. It's amazing. It's amazing how many high levels don't play, because I'm up against a lot of players at the high levels, because the highest account that I have is 7.6, almost 7.7, and there's a lot of players that just don't play.
Are you going for a lot of the feats, Avi, when you play?
Nope.
No, she doesn't have time for that. I have 1 account, and I barely have time to focus on feats. Really,
just because
I'm no dialer.
Yeah, one thing that a lot of people don't know.
I'm happy with 1 to 2 wins.
One thing that a lot of people don't know that is if you don't bump up to like
Dialar, it's a naughty karate's turn.
All right.
No, Dialar, go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, what I mentioned the feats is a lot of people don't know that if you can stay within Erodium or Chromium, you only get matched up in the next week with people in those tiers. So a lot of people at the high end will not collect their feats until after they've already locked in for the next week, because they'll get easier opponents for that week.
Ooh.
Yeah, that matters so little though, because there's some that have stages. Like do undersize. If you don't claim it and you do like 10 undersize battle, you only get credit for 3. So you claim it, you know what I mean?
Yep. No,
I
that's true.
don't really know if that manipulates it that much. I just
That's a really good trick. I mean, I just want to make sure we got that trick. You said that the first week of GAC, you don't go too high in the rankings, so that the next few weeks you have easy matches. Then you can go for all the feats.
So say if you win your first 3 matches and you have a whole bunch of feats that you've finished, don't claim them until you have to, because if you can let them roll over until the next week before you claim them, and you can stay within like whatever the first tier is, Carbonite. If you can stay in Carbonite, then going into week 2, you only get matched up with players that are still in Carbonite. So then, whereas
no, that's fair enough. For 3v3 though, if that's the topic of conversation, and technically I have the feather, I would like to bring up a couple 3v3 teams that are just, they were always nuts, and they're still nuts. is Mon Mothma, by the way. Going to be amazing for those of you going for Jedi Master Luke. Dylar, have you done a breakdown or video on this? Are you going to make one soon? 3v3?
For 3v3, no, I don't think so, because I don't want people watching my teams and then having a sense of what I'm going to do in week 1. So maybe after week 1, when people can look at my history, then I will.
Well, as always, Rey with Han and Chewie is still one of those almost unbeatable 3v3 teams. Just crazy overpowered in 3v3. Mon Mothma shows some promise, and of course, if you're Darth Revan and Trio are faster than the other one, that is a monster of a 3v3 team. As it has been since 3v3 came out, but since the introduction of Galactic Legends, 3v3 is kind of like, some people hate it, some people love it. I just don't know the counters to the things that already were strong back in the day, you know? But I still play it. I'm happy with winning 1 or 2 every cycle. I don't really chase it too hard. I just watch Dylar play while I'm playing and be like, oh, hey, I won 1 more battle than I would have otherwise. Woo! Okay, my feather's gone.
Feathers
Okay, you
gone
give it
for
to
you.
LV.
Lord Bishop.
LV.
LV.
Just to say LV. And see, I'm stuck in the middle. I've always prided myself on finding counters for things, and there's a lot of content out there about it. There's not that much content in regards to 3v3. It is just it's totally about how you know your roster. And yes, in GAC it's very much a 1v1, you're testing your metal. However, there's things like the undercutting your opponent with not having all these characters upgraded. I'm a day 1 player who has all these characters upgraded, etc., who I don't use. Then you get paired against somebody who's maybe been playing for 2 years, realizes that they don't need all these characters, never invested in them, and so you look at their roster and they have 20, 30 gray units because they just saying, oh well, we don't use them at all, there's no reason for me to upgrade them, versus someone who's
I need a range trooper.
Exactly. Those type of things is what it really puts me off about GAC in comparison to TW, which is all, you're more focused on your 5 teams for defense, your 5 teams for offense, and that's all you care about. And it's more of a guild round thing. Now, for GAC, I used to care about it, started working and everything, and it kind of like, okay, I don't have the time to care about it. I pride myself on knowing counters, and with the fact that there's now 4 Galactic Legends, and you put all 4 of them up front if your opponent only has 2, it really, puts me off on the whole entire GAC, palooza that maybe Dylar has. It's just, to me, it seems a little unfair to the person who doesn't wear, or the person that doesn't spend as rigorous as some of these other people who have, saved or whatever. I've very much, the reason I moved to a guild like Alpha was just to relax and, buy time to what else comes in the game. You can go back.
That's what we're all doing. Have you ever been matched with someone that had way more GLs than you? Because it's kind of a GP thing mostly.
Well, I've had one until just about, I wailed on Kylo when he came out, and then I did Rey completely from the bottom up. Just got Rey when the new 2 came out, so now I'm focusing on building my 3rd one, but it's still like, I'm a 6.5. How many people I've been paired against who have 2, now 3 Galactic Legends, or 4, because...
Yeah, me too, but aren't they top heavy and they spent too many R7s? I get matched with people like that all the time. They just spent too much money. Their R7s skew their...
Well, and that's the thing, is it's like, I get paired against these people who have 30 or, the bottom half of the roster, which people don't use, is nothing. So they actually use, their top 80 characters or top 60 characters, whatever the algorithm likes to look at, are relict. All the characters they're using are relict. Me, it's like, okay, maybe my top 40 characters are relict. And maybe I still use a lot of G12s, because I just don't have the income to.
I do too.
And it's
Are
just like
you,
a-
are you commenting on that in the form of a complaint? Because I often find that it's an advantage to have all that little nestled nooks and crannies done compared to someone that just like early whaled, you know, in the last
Well,
2
it's-
years.
Well, I'm sorry, but we all use the same counters. It's like in TW, we use the same counters over and over and over again. You know, the 3v3s, yes, you do pull off some of these weird comps that people pull out, but it's still the same characters over and over and over again, just broken up.
Which
So, go ahead.
which means there's only one wild card. See, we know this. We know that there's only set amount of counter. And you know, what's this team? What do we beat it with? Okay, you have to run this. Then what's the wild card in this whole equation is your mods. Mods. Speed, you know, the percentage for the relics and modding those characters right. And honestly, that's how you can go into some of these battles with lower geared tunes and surprise people and win.
You're right, but
That's
mods
what
are the
entire time. Sorry.
but that's mods are the one thing that you cannot control in this game. You cannot control your speed rolls. You take someone like me, and I have been, you know, have good characters, have the right characters upgraded, but my mods suck. And it's not for lack of trying, it's just for the lack of rolling. I've spent hundreds of millions of credits rolling mods continuously day after day, you know, for months straight, and you don't get the rolls you want.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you there 100%. Rolling mods is horrible. But I see a lot of people rolling mods, and I ask myself, why do they roll that mod? You see, when you're looking for just speed, it really limits what you do for your character with your mods. Mods have 4 stats. Our characters need more than just speed. So, I mean, you start to look at what the other stats are and if that mod's actually worth rolling up or not. So,
Well, in all fairness, I can think of like 4 tunes that I would not immediately delete a mod if it didn't roll speed for them. You know what
That's
I
right.
mean?
There's like
Well,
4
JML is
characters
one
out
of them.
there.
Yeah, JML is one of them. Yeah.
no, I understand that. But I mean, there are certain mods, like there are some mods with absolutely no speed that I keep and I'll never sell because it's got a great other stat and it can go on a tune that doesn't need speed.
For who?
Right.
Which one? Do you have an example?
My game's not open, so
That'd be
the top of my head, no. It would be for someone like Echo, who doesn't need speed, just needs a lot of potency and offense. Who else?
I'll tell you another one. What about Savage Oppress? Because he doesn't need speed as much as he needs a mod that may have some.
Yeah,
other
but when's the last
characteristics.
time anyone used that dude? I wish.
You
know,
you're starting.
Depends upon what guild you're in and what
I
level.
feel you
you're
though, dude. Yeah, I
And
feel
we're
you though.
also-
That's a good tune. It just like never sees the light of day for me.
Oh,
Okay,
it does for me.
for this guy.
If anybody goes into yellow health, he can one-shot them.
and consider this, and this is just kind of a fun stall team, way out in left field, is Oppress, Sith Empire Trooper, and Bastille. Dark side. It's nothing but defense and potency on the team. The tank.
What about Savage?
What are you gonna use your Darth Revan with?
But what about
Take that
Zeta
slot,
Barris? If you had Savage with Zeta Barris on your 3v3, then every time you hit him, he's gaining turn meter and getting healed.
Yeah.
All you have to do
But
is just add a dazed person to that team and it goes away. You use, you know, when the Maul Zeta came out and everyone was running that, then it got destroyed when they brought out R2. As I said, there are characters I understand that mid-game to where some people are compared to the upper ends where myself, Naughty, Avi, Dylar are. There are characters who we don't use at all, period. Even in a 3v3, it's just like they're niche. But other than that, is when's the last time you were able to use a combination of, you know, Sith Trooper, Sith Assassin, and Savage to take out someone in the yellow? It just doesn't happen anymore. You know, going from vanilla characters who have one line of leadership text to these characters now who have 5 pages of leadership text, it really
True.
puts into perspective of which characters you're going to use. And people who come into the game 2 years ago didn't have to deal with all this crap. They didn't have to deal with the assist meta or the
Paragraph.
dodge or the dodge meta. You know, we had
Yeah,
That's all we
LV, I
had.
see what you're saying. There is a point to, like, if you didn't live through the metas, you don't have the tunes to really.
Yeah, because we
Throw
were
in.
so limited back
Yeah.
then. So limited. And we were forced to use those tunes because there wasn't anything else.
I did
Yeah.
love my
Now you
Savage
have-
though back in the day under the
It-
mall lead.
Oh, yeah. I love
Yeah.
I'm someone who has his Zeta. I'm someone who has Maul Zeta, and those characters I used them for such a long time, but nowadays they're junk. You know, I see some of these Sith Empire teams that use a Zal lead. Don't know how
You
efficient
get
they
creative
are.
with a cleanup team here and there. They're not junk, but they're very niche or niche.
They're
How did you
very
niche.
they're very
Is that-
niche characters.
Is
Look,
that
I
what you're
totally
saying?
want to address this,
It's
but
the
I
niche
think
shop.
Feather next it goes to Dylar.
Feather goes to
And then-
Dylar. All right.
All right, and then we'll go around again. We got half of the time left, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to totally avoid any discussion on Mando, even though I'd love to talk about it. But I'm going to give a lot of people time. I know there's a lot of countries that it's still not up yet. But I think for those of you, I'm just going to allude, though, for those of you that are watching it, I think we have plenty of content that's going to be filling out the next 4 months. And without any spoilers, is anyone else here getting excited? I guess we can talk about Quill and IG-11.
Yes.
So Quill and IG-11
Oh, yeah.
are in the game now. And what is your guys's, and we'll go around the table, what is your guys and gals' initial opinions, and what team comp do you have in mind? Because I know for myself, I don't want to pull my Mando and my Grief from my Bounty Hunter team, because then that team loses so much viability. So I'm kind of looking at putting Quill and IG-11 under, say, Kira lead, blah, blah, blah. Maybe pull an L3 off of my raid team and putting L3 on there, and then or so it'll either be L3 in Nest or Mission Zalbar, because the synergies that Quill and IG-11 give Scoundrels is great. It's awesome. And then the synergies that Kira as a lead as a light side lead too gives them is awesome. So I was gonna wonder, what do you guys think of the two tunes? And what kind of team comps have you kind of come up with?
Well, Dylar, I think you're thinking on another tier of three-dimensional chess than I was about this.
But,
I do.
but we could pass the feather on that question. That's a great question. And as
I think it's a great
Keith, I
question.
would
Mr.
say,
Beefy, it's your turn.
I would love to mix those characters in and throw them into the mix. I'm always creating teams, and I like to just click on a faction heading such as Bounty Hunter and make up a new team that nobody's seen before for my GAC defense, 3v3, or even sometimes a territory war. So if those guys have Bounty Hunter tags, then I'm going to play them with my Bounty Hunter teams for sure. And if it creates a new synergy or something, I'll have to figure that out when I get the tunes. I'm really surprised to hear LV say that some of those lower squads to him are junk, because anyway, I have 5 million GP, but my method has been, since I learned how the matchmaking works, it only looks at your top 80. I thought, oh, great. That gives me 120 characters I can boost with no serious consequences for my matchmaking. So I got a really fat GP, but a lot of it's in that lower half. And thus I can throw in a lot of interesting combinations of characters that I don't think other people necessarily have access to.
That's actually pretty cool.
If you tried to
Yeah.
make a slim and trim account where you're only focusing on these teams you don't know anything about these other deep teams that are in there, and there's stuff you can put together out of that. So I think that's how my Mandalorian, my new Mando characters are going to get played, is with something unexpected that's a little deeper in the list of bounty hunters. I'll pass it on to and just to comment on the mods, y'all are thinking about mods wrong if you think you should always use the mods they tell you to use. because everyone expects you to use, say, crit damage and crit chance set on Han Solo. But wait, what if your Han Solo is built like a total tank with all this tenacity and health? Nobody expects that, and they may not check your mods, and then you could be coming to the table with something completely unexpected that just rocks the world because they're getting shot back.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Yeah, beefed at a top end of the scale. That's one thing that we realized is that modding a Rey for those who have her with tenacity is an excellent. And everyone has tenacity mods laying around, right? She's super easy to stack with tenacity, and really shuts that Vader counter down.
So there's tricks.
Quiet.
Secrets.
Quiet.
Okay, pass to Reaver. Reaver, you can answer.
It's not
How
a
do you like the
secret.
new Mando characters?
Okay, what do you think of the Mando characters, and what might you use them with?
Never underestimate the dark side, and Rey does not need tenacity at all. Promise. I haven't had a real good look at the new characters, I must say. I'm ashamed of myself. I just, on initial thought, looking at them, I'm thinking, they brought 2 corpses into the game. Like, what are we going to keep getting for content? Just going to be these new Mandalorian characters because that's the flavor of the week? I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's the content being released right now.
Anyways, that's all I got to say about them. I haven't looked. I like the idea of running them with scoundrels because myself, I love Akira lead also. So I would have to look at their passives and see where they fit in best. I haven't. Next.
Did anyone here invest in Tuskens early on for whatever reason?
No, but that's
mine
that's
might pay
season
off.
2, so
Yeah.
that'll be next year.
Yeah. Okay. Feather is passed on to me at this point. All right.
Sorry, Abby.
Even though there's synergy between Quill and IG-11, I might think about, at least for testing, splitting them up and maybe putting one on a bounty hunter team and maybe one on a scoundrel team, or having a couple of different scoundrel teams. One of them could be Akira lead. The other one I was thinking about maybe IG-88. And test that out and kind of see how it goes. Go with like mostly droids to start off with. Use what is it? T3M4 or T4M3, whatever that one
T3M4,
is.
yeah, you got her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not a bad choice.
yeah, T3M4, and then having even maybe working on my IG-86 and see what that might do on the team as well. I mean, I think it'd be kind of fun to watch, if anything. But I do want to try the Kira team with like L337, maybe Nest, Quill, and IG-11, and kind of see how that goes. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to test it out. And I'm kind of excited about it because both of them are going to be really good. Quill, I think, is going to be a little bit more on the passive end of it, where IG-11 can be a different aspects, not just a healer, but also an attacker, and will assist. So, because he's protecting the baby Yoda, or I should say, the child.
Yeah, it's really weird because he's a healer, but he's an auto taunt tank. So he gains protection based off his max health, which is weird. But
Which means you need all his stars. I see these new tunes. The big part is farming up their stars, and if they're a tank, especially, like they're really not viable low places for not spending
Well,
on them.
with Quill
And I
on the
mean-
team, he's going to be an auto. He's going to be a pre-taunt. If
Yeah,
Quill's on
that's
the team.
cool.
So
I
that's-
wonder
that would
if
be nice
actually
if you
the
run it
old
together.
school Ugnaught will have synergy with Krill. too.
Well, I'm sure that they're going to create like another tune that will gather some of these other obsolete tunes and give them the buffs, because what the game is doing is they're creating characters to be able to be put with these other characters that are at the bottom of our pile. And instead of individually upgrading them and doing makeovers, they're adding these characters to give them the buffs that they might have had given if they were completely individually reworked. So this kind of gives it an interesting aspect of it, is that here's a new group of tunes. And then who knows, the next one that comes out may be adding Cup and Ugnaught and some of the other ones to have like some kind of great
Gamorrean Guard.
hey, nobody mocks my Gamorrean Guard. My Gamorrean Guard is R5.
Avi, as
I
soon as
just tried Gamorrean Guard with Watt, 7-star Watt for the first time, and it's outrageous.
Yeah, that could work. When they introduce Jabba the Hutt into the game, Avi, you will already have your Gam Guard ready to go because they will be built-in synergy there.
You betcha. You
That's
betcha.
right.
Yeah, don't underestimate bacon.
Yeah, also, regarding Mando, no spoilers. Like, literally the only thing that felt weird about the show, because I really love that show, was how the two Gamorreans that were like fighting in a ring match, but they both had axes. It would just looked weird. Like they looked, yeah, they weren't. It was like, what have you been feeding these guys? They look super stringy. Also, I don't buy this fight. Was the only thing in the whole show where I was like, why didn't they just hire a couple bodybuilders for those roles?
They could have been like
someone who knew how to fight.
like Gamorrean Guard sumo wrestlers type thing. Yeah.
That was the featherweight fight, Naughty. We didn't get to the main event.
That was the featherweight. Yeah, they were like, all right.
And that's in the trailer,
Did
so
the
that's not a
feather-
spoiler.
Speaking of featherweight, did the feather go from Avi to Naughty and next?
It's
to
about
LV?
to go
I
to
guess
Naughty
so.
right now. Yeah, I
Okay.
just got done with my
Wait
diatribe.
for Abby to be done first.
My diatribe is done. My rant is done, so I'm good.
They could go with Gamorrean Guard, the new Mandalorian characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be upsetting. For me, at least.
Naughty, you're next.
Oh, I'm happy to have upgraded Chupio, and Mon Mothma is right on the verge of going to Relics. It's a long grind for free to play. For anything you want to get, just takes a while. That's fine. Patience is good.
Yep.
3v3, whatever.
So what's your
like,
Chupio at?
into it as a nut.
Is it relic right now?
Oh, he's R5, yeah. Once they're relic, they go to where they're supposed to go. They're either stage at 3 or 5.
Have you tried him out against Ray yet?
No, that was 2 days ago, and I've just been... Yeah, but he's there now. I've, very little practice with him, to be honest.
You'll love him. Great tune.
Moving-
Great kit.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah, he is.
Good with.
Also, interestingly enough, this is one thing I never expected in terms of a team that is designed to do assist against a team that is designed to defend against assist, like Padme, is that CLS with Chupio is actually a hard counter to Padme defense. That's amazing. You know? Because everything that makes that team function is, well, actually, it's the CLS lead, I think, when they resist debuffs, everyone gets turn meter, so they just run train on them. But still, it's just an interesting dynamic that one tune thrown in the mix can change the dynamic completely. Because no one was taking CLS against Padme 2 months ago, you know?
No, and Chupio bumped up CLS from... Because, let's be honest, CLS was B at best before Chupio. In this era of Galactic Legends.
Now he's an A-team.
And now he's an
he's like,
A-team.
who has Darth Revan left over, you know? Like, holy shit, we really need to dial this in.
But if you haven't seen the Bulldog video with Mon Mothma, Chupio, Cassian, and Scout, and Pow, and Cassian,
yeah.
Scout, and Pow were gear 8, but it had a Relic Chupio, that team was taking out Ray comps.
Really? Oh, post the link, please. I've
Just
not
just
seen
go
that.
to Bulldog's YouTube channel. There's a
with 3 people.
what's that, Beef? You keep kind of roboto-ing out there.
He's at
Uh-oh, Mr. Beefy's roboing.
Someone's
electric
stealing his
guitar.
Wi-Fi.
Wow, 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 wow.
Hey,
Well, you can't make fun of the droids. They'll come back to get you.
Did I just make fun of a droid? Oh no. I got me too'd in the Star Wars universe.
But for those of you,
LV.
Trying.
Poor Beefy, he's trying to talk.
Yeah.
I think he's saying it's going over to you, LV.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah.
So I watched the episode right when it came out because I was ecstatic, and then made Avi stay up and watch it because I needed someone to chat with. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what they brought into it. Tidbit information: do you guys know that the noise that Old Ben uses in episode 4 is a crate dragon's roar?
I did not know that.
Oh, is it? I thought it was a Tuscan roar that says, "Get out of here!
No.
Get out of here! Get off my lawn, you kids!" I thought that's what it meant.
The only reason I know that is someone told me, I think it was Thom who told me regarding someone was playing the trading card game, or had played the trading card game years ago, and one of the cards was called Crate Dragon Roar, which with a picture of Old Ben on it.
Is that? Do you think that's a Force ability, or you think Alec Guinness has pipes like that?
It's definitely a force ability.
Yeah, okay, I think so too.
But it talks about what Avi brought up about like them, instead of revamping old characters, just bringing in new ones with like their possibilities of revamp. It's definitely what CG likes to do. You know, they're all about making money, and so of course, what do? They're gonna bring out new characters and just bring out new characters and bring out new characters. Unfortunately, game modes don't make them money. You know, if they wanted to, they would have kept in with you know, when Hat Raid first came out, you know, Jawas were supposed to be the team to use. Well, we quickly find out how useless they were. Well, it doesn't matter. Like even in the text of the Hat Raid, it says to use Jawas. And then
It was
you know,
all
you bring
about
out,
Dathcha, though.
and then you bring out like characters like.
Touch Dathcha.
But then they bring out characters like Aura Singh, who are supposed to do more damage against, you know, staggered targets. Didn't really help out. People like wailed on her to see if they get a hat advantage.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like characters aren't content, in my opinion, until they bring out.
I
actual
agree
content.
with you. I agree with
It's just.
No, there might be a Dathcha meta against Grievous that nobody's explored. Dathcha, bring back Dathcha for the win.
Oh,
I don't know. Last people I know that quit the game, they had a double Zeta or a Sing just to try and do more damage in P3 of the Sith Raid. But when SLKR can solo it, they're like, never mind. I'm done.
That's it. We have a guildmate who has like relic Jawas, and he loves like just throwing them in there and using them against, you know, Grievous teams, etc. It can happen, but then again, you have to relic Jawas. A normal person is not going to relic the Jawas.
Yeah, you're an abnormal person to do so, but more power to you. You choose that.
Right.
LV, I recommend you make that guildie put his Jawas with Rey to see if he can copy what Vader did or Arnold did in his GAC. If anyone saw that.
I told Thom to do it. I hope he does, because that's just hilarious. Yeah, there's a video of Rey with Jawas completely counters the Vader counter to Rey. Just completely destroys it, because Vader will go first and use Merciless Massacre, and as soon as he puts dots on everybody, he's got like 9 thermals on him and just dies in his next turn. It's absolutely disgusting. So I'll see if he actually.
Turn.
No, it's not even. Yeah, exactly. It's a bonus turn. But the thing is, it's like he puts his dots on everybody, and with Scavenger on the field, all those thermals get put on him. He uses another turn, and all those thermals blow up. So it's really just like he kills
because
himself.
he's taking his turns.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
it was really funny.
Yeah.
We got about 10 minutes or so left. Maybe we should go around the table.
You cut out,
Final
sir.
word. Well, we got 10 minutes left. Do you want to go for 10 more minutes where it's one
Hey,
more
it looks like
round?
JC might be back. Let's see. Actually, I think we should honor him with some, and I think he deserves an introduction. This is a dude that has conquered the meta of GAC competition in a way. He's very humble too. He's not going to talk himself up, and his mic is obviously not ideal, but it seems like he's working on it. So let's. I think we should let him talk. What do you think?
He's not here, Naughty.
Yeah.
Come join.
He's not in here yet.
There he
Oh,
is.
there he is. There he
Hey,
is.
JD.
Yeah. Oh,
That
JD, that sounds way better, man. Actually, we were just talking like, what can you share with people about how in the world are you doing what you're doing in GAC?
So I mean, a lot of it is just my roster is pretty focused, so I get really good matchups. So that's a big part.
Yeah, but you're way smarter than
so-
you're letting on here. There's something else you're doing. You're beating everyone in the world right now.
For those
I mean-
listening that don't know, the man in blue here, JD, placed first in Div 1 in GAC this last season.
Last 3 seasons actually, but whatever.
Oh,
Last
Yeah.
my bad.
season? Awesome.
He's not
Awesome.
going to talk himself up. That's why we got to sing his praises. I just want to kind of, get some gold out of whatever you're doing that's working. It seems really amazing because if I'm like in the 8,000s or so, I'm like, damn, I'm the shit.
I mean, a lot of it is
good
just
stuff.
learning
Sorry.
your teams and knowing what they can beat, and like I'm using basically the same counters against every team. It's just so a lot of it gets repetitive. But yeah, it's just learning your teams and knowing what they can beat. And like I think the last time I lost a battle was like in the last 3v3. So I just know my teams, know what they can beat, and just kind of basically do the same thing every time. I mean, a lot of the teams I see on defense are the same. So like if I see Night Sisters, I bring in my Bounty Hunters. If I see Geonosians, I'm bringing in Treya.
What is your
Yeah.
GP, JD?
Do you have anything planned for this 3v3 coming up? Do you have any new things thrown in the mix, or is it going to be another grind just like it is otherwise?
I mean, pretty much same as what I'm normally doing. I gotta remember what I did last time because I did win the last 3v3, but I gotta remember how I did that because I gotta figure out my 3v3 teams again. I think I have a tab in my save squads for that, but
do you?
So you plan ahead a
have
lot.
Galactic and
sorry, I didn't catch that.
I think
That
he
was-
said he asked if you had a galactic legend.
I do not have a galactic legend.
Galactic.
So
Oh,
actually,
you won number 1, but no GL.
yeah, no galactic legends. Actually, in the championship of the last round, I faced somebody who had Ray, and that was the first time I'd faced somebody with a galactic legend. And well, I mean, basically his strategy was put his galactic legend on defense and just hope that holds. And I was able to beat it, and it was a pretty easy win after that.
Nice.
Wow, that's really cool, man. How long ago did you start playing? If you don't have
I've
any
been playing since launch.
GLs. Really? And no GLs?
That's kind of on purpose because when I've looked at the leaderboards, a lot of times it's the people at like the lower end of Division 1 that are getting wins,
Right.
and a lot of them don't have galactic legends. So I'm kind of nervous that if I do go for a galactic legend, that it's just gonna mess up my matchmaking and stuff.
Right.
Oh,
And
so
it
you're
probably
very
will, too.
deliberately skewing your matching so that it's in. Yeah, that's cool. That's really interesting.
I don't think he's deliberately skewing, but he's just not prepped to want to add.
No.
that
I
additional-
understand because
Yeah.
I often get matched in GAC with people who have recently spent a lot of money to have more R7s. So their top 80 is skewed, right? But they've been playing for like a year or two less. And the only way that I skew it technically is by not spending money at all for the last 2 years. And then I get
It's a
mad at
great
people that
strategy.
spend a bunch of money. And then they're like, damn it, how do you have all those Zetas? I'm like, just because I do. I don't know how to answer your question.
That's
But, yeah.
similar to my old strategy of boost the characters below the top 80 because it gives you so
Right,
many
yeah.
counter teams that don't count on the scale
Right.
in the matchmaking.
Right.
Right.
that's
Right.
true.
Exactly.
Really good insight.
Yeah, anything under top 80, you can just bring that up to like basically what your 80th character's GP is at, and it's not going to affect your matchmaking at all. So
Yeah.
if you look at my roster, I've got like my top 80 is like my 80th character is like gear 11, and I have a ton of gear 11s right after that.
And if you have a lot of tunes that go from R5 to R7, like the staging area on R5 tune is almost completely viable in every situation you would use them in, other than R7 tune. There's really no reason to boost them unless they're like a pilot that you also use every day, for example, something like that. But yeah, like R3 to R5 is completely workable at a top end level for any tune that you want to use if you have the mods right on them. It's really not necessary to take them R7, and R7 does really skew your matchmaking in terms of one-on-one GAC matchups in a big way.
Yeah, my highest tune is R4 right now, and I'm still I don't usually climb in arena because it's too much trying to climb through all those galactic legends. So I usually just climb in fleet. That's where I get my crystals from.
Yeah, dude, you're riding a very special wave. I don't think anyone else knows how to do what you're doing right now. Seriously,
He's just
it's pretty amazing. that
Just every
Division 1
word is
deployment.
gold, you know.
Yeah,
Are you free to play?
this is
JD?
also a really unique.
Nice.
For
Well,
what was
okay,
the question? I heard a question.
let's try to go one more time around the table, I think. And as such, LV talked, and JD Suzuki is on. Next is Dylar.
Oh no, I'll pass it to Reaver.
Next is Beefed. And I want to say thanks for coming to the round table. I don't know if my mic or not. You can probably hear me better now. But we're going to continue to have a round table chat every week. So pop in if you want to around 8 o'clock Central next Monday. Every week, it's the round table chat. You can sit down next to sometimes amazing celebrities and sometimes just regular fellows. So anyway, come and hang out with us anytime. Thanks for being here. Next, pass the feather to Reaver.
Hey, everybody. I just want to jump on what JD said. So I'm also one of those guys with Galactic Legend, running up on 6 million. So I have the whole even roster thing. Obviously, have not done as well as JD did. But in chasing a Galactic Legend, I've noticed that I've been coming up against them more and more and more in GAC, especially the closer I get, making my matches harder and harder. And this last round, I finished the worst that I have in a long time. So, it's a great strategy.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for coming, Reaver. And we pass the feather to Queen Avi.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been fun. Had some interesting conversations. It's a shame that poor Beefy was robo-wing quite a bit there, so could hear some of the stuff that you were saying.
Robo-beef.
But anyway, I hope that some of the information that we provided might help you along the way. You're always welcome to ask questions or maybe submit questions to us that we might want to talk about that would be great for a roundtable. And hey, if you're interested, come join us. We won't bite at least much. So if anything, you can listen on Dylar's YouTube link, and either that or else you can come into the Boba's chat here and have some fun. And I pass that on to Nahi.
Oh, what have you done? Well, just so everyone knows, Abby is wrong. You will get bit, and it will hurt. But then you become immortal, and it doesn't hurt anymore, so it's fine. So whatever, stop complaining, people.
All right, LV. Oh, he's gone. Okay, so much for that.
You're
LB popped out.
All right,
I had something to say, but yeah, JD. I want to honor JD.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. I know I missed most of it trying to figure out my mic problems, but it's still
your
fun.
mic's good now, man.
Yep, it's good.
You
it's
have
great.
much wisdom to share. We're trying to squeeze your brain like a coconut right now, trying to know how to do what you do.
Yeah, that was really cool of you to explain about raising all those Gear 11 characters, because you can go hog wild on anybody 81, 82 and on down. So I like that strategy too.
This also goes in with what we were talking about earlier with Oppress and those quote-unquote B-list characters. I mean, basically what he's done is he's built his roster. So, I mean, LV had said, those characters, he didn't like using them. Well, that's understandable, but when you don't have those top end, like all the GLs, all this fancy stuff, you can have it.
You have to rely on other parts of your roster.
And those other solid teams are great. They can be called niche. Oh, I have a Relic Phoenix team. Oh, that's niche. Yeah, but you know how many teams that's going to beat if you play it right? And the great thing about this game is the fact that, you can Relic Jawas, and you're going to get those wins. I mean, this game allows it. It's not like it's a complete waste of time. You're going to get a win with a good team. And this game,
I agree with you. It's not a complete waste of time.
This game allows us the freedom to be able to build those other. I just want everybody to get on board that the Imperial Troopers need a cleaner. We got everything but a cleaner. Need a cleaner, guys. Somebody to keep them dots off, days off. Come on, Trooper.
Well, that'll be Moff Gideon. He can clean them up. He can be the cleanser.
Everybody, don't forget to vote. We do need a cleaner.
Yep.
Yeah, it's time to clean them up. Oh my goodness. It's been a fantastic roundtable. We're about to push the button and stop recording, and then we can stay on and talk a little bit after hours. But I just want to encourage anybody who is hearing the sound of my voice to come and be heard, and also to do the exercise of listening. It's a really powerful thing to have to sit there and watch somebody else with the feather. It affects your mind. It makes you think more about what you're going to say when it's your turn. So thanks for playing this game with us. And that's the end of tonight. Say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay,
Everybody.
push the button. Let's stop streaming. Stop recording.